bile formation is the next thing. Bile is really important, the detergent of the body. It emulsifies fats. So that just means, it breaks it down and gets it ready to be more manageable into droplets. And we call these micelles, and they're just small bits of fat. And that's what bile does. It breaks down the fat. And then you get enzymes called lipase, and they chop it up even more. They turn it into fatty acids and actually glycerol, those sort of things. So bile is really important for the absorption of fats, breaking down fats and absorbing. It's also like a detergent. It's very good for helping the stomach empty on time. It's very good at helping to regulate the stomach acidity. So bile has many functions, and it also is important for fat-soluble vitamins, because bile is very much important in the metabolizing of fat-soluble vitamins in the liver. So bile has all these functions that are great. I'm just quickly talking about fat-soluble vitamins, because that's one of the things we talk about in the meetings, that fat is essential, as the name implies, for fat-soluble vitamins. It's not rocket science. And the fat-soluble vitamins, I always call a deck a fat-soluble vitamin, because it's A, D, E, and K. So hopefully you'll be able to remember that. So we need bile, don't we? We need bile for all these different functions. And many people are worried about, well, if it's stored in the gallbladder and haven't got a gallbladder, what's going to go wrong there? Well, if you take the gallbladder out, as we spoke earlier about the regeneration of the liver, up to 70% can go out. If you have your gallbladder taken out, then those portal veins, the connection to the gallbladder, I should say, that becomes like a surrogate gallbladder, and the body's incredibly adaptive. So you can eat this way even if you haven't got a gallbladder.
What about bile?
So bile is made up of water, so it's H2O, ions, which is a posh way of saying sodium, chloride, potassium, and magnesium, bile acids, cholesterol. You need cholesterol to make bile, very important. Phospholipids and protein. That's your recipe for bile. It's pretty good. I just want to quickly talk about the vitamins, because I think we should do that, because that shows how important the liver is for everything. So we're talking, I'll do a little recap right at the end. But if you look at like vitamin A, retinol A, which is needed for appropriate vision, that's very important. Maybe that's why carnivore helps so many people with eye sensitivity. I used to wear sunglasses. I don't wear sunglasses anymore. My eyes have definitely improved. Maybe it's because I've now got the fats to work with the fat-soluble vitamins. Embryological development and gene transcription, they are helped with vitamin A as well. So you can have much better process of fertility and that sort of stuff. So that's all stored in the liver, all these fat-soluble vitamins. Obviously, you need to mention too much vitamin A can lead to hepatic toxicity. It's very hard to have too much vitamin A, but I don't recommend eating like tons and tons of liver every single day, because that could be a possible problem there. Vitamin D is fat soluble. Obviously, you get that from sunlight and the interaction of sunlight with your skin. Even if you are on a grey day or there's buildings in the way, sunlight going into your eyes, you want sunlight hitting your skin, and you get this very important vitamin, which acts very much like a hormone, actually. It's very important for calcium and phosphate homeostasis. So it's just leveling out your salt and sodium, for want of a better word, and calcium, all those things. And one of the steps, the vital steps of vitamin D synthesis, that happens in the liver. And in fact, the activation of vitamin D happens in the liver. It becomes the active form of vitamin D there. Then you've got vitamin E, which is an antioxidant, again, another fat-soluble vitamin, so you need fats for this. The liver utilizes this for lipid peroxidation and dealing with free radicals, oxidative stress. All that means is an antioxidant is looking to protect molecules or atoms, basically, with that are at risk of having electrons stolen from them, from oxidants and these free radicals. So that's that. Vitamin K, many people talk about that. That's required for coagulation. That is actually what we talked about earlier, like coagulation of your blood. So factor 2, 7, 9, and 10 are all dependent on the fat-soluble vitamin K. And also, The B vitamins are handled in the liver, which is very interesting. But again, that's for another session. So we're near the end now. I'm just going to recap. Liver damage can lead to many things. It could impact the storage of blood. It can give you portal hypertension. It can mean that your filtration is out, so there's bacteria and infections able to perpetrate, what's the word? Penetrate. That's the word I was looking for. That can be a bit of an issue. Metabolic issues like handling proteins, fats, or carbohydrates. So if your liver's not functioning very well, you can have a problem there. And obviously, another macronutrient is alcohol. Wow, that can be a big problem. Detox problems if your liver is not working as well as it could, even with those xenobiotic compounds. So that's like environmental issues and things like nasty stuff like pesticides. And then you can have poor bile formation leading to dysregulated emulsification of fats and compromised absorption of vitamins. So yeah, it's essential. And I think if we dial back, that's why the liver is one of the few organs that can really regenerate and really regenerate quickly. Now, they can't do many studies on humans, but obviously people do have parts of the liver removed. So we know that that is possible. I think most surgery goes to sort of like 50 to 60% maximum, but there are experiments and there are people that have been, come forward for studies, and it has been as much as 70% of the liver can go and it can still regenerate. And I know, sadly, in rodent studies, that's remarkable regeneration rate of mice, for instance. You can have 70% of their liver destroyed deliberately and it's back within 7 days. So it's an incredible and important structure. It's evolved this capacity to regenerate, does so many things. So we need to look after our liver. And we'll talk about symptoms, right shoulder pain, right neck pain, impacting on your thyroid. There's so many things. Reduction in testosterone production can all be a possible indicator that the liver's playing up. But there's so many things, as you just heard, that I think that's for another day.